There are tons of options when it comes to picking out a drone to fly in 2025. Well, technically it's December of 2024, but as you can see, there are tons of options and there's different types. But in this video, I'm going to make sure you don't waste your money and buy the wrong drone in 2025, and I'm going to help you decide what's the best for you. Hey, what's up guys? I'm Kris Luckenbach. I'm a wildlife photographer and professional drone pilot in Kodiak, Alaska. I make videos like this with the goal to inspire and educate you based off everything I know and love. Alright, so I got a few drones here, and if you've come to this video to see what is the best drone no matter what in 2025, well, it can't answer that because it truly depends on what the best drone for you is. Sometimes this might be the perfect drone in a scenario, and this one and this one, and there's $30,000 drones, and then there's $200 drones. You really got to decide what's best for you. And the first thing you have to realize are there's a few different types of drones. And to keep this simple, I'm going to basically show you something like this. This is a DJI Mavic 3 Pro. This is what you'd want to call a standard camera drone. Now, there's really nothing standard about this because this drone in particular has 3 different lenses attached to this gimbal, which is really nice. You got 3 different fields of view to film in. And then you got stuff like this. This is a custom FPV drone. It's made by iFlight. It's called the Bob 57. It's got 6-inch propellers on here, custom made batteries where you got to type in everything manually and make sure you know what you're talking about. You got to put your own camera on it if you want better image quality. And overall, this thing is very fun to fly, but it's a steep learning curve. Whereas this is also an FPV drone. This is the DJI Avata 2, and this is more for beginners and just certain types of shots that you can't get with some other kind of drone. So what's interesting about these FPV drones versus a standard camera drone is the standard camera drone has a regular remote. This one's a built-in screen. Sometimes you have to connect your phone to them to see what you're filming, see what you're taking photos of. And yeah, I say photos because this is the only drone you're going to be wanting to take photos with. They say you might be able to capture photos with these drones. These aren't made for photography. This is made for cinematic videos and photography. If you're looking to do drone photos for anything, you're going to want a standard camera drone. And I really like this remote. This is a smart controller. And I like to just put it around my head in case I have to go hands-free for a second. And that's really, really fun. The FPV drone is also really, really fun because you put on some goggles and then you have a remote like this, and you are in a whole new submersive world or immersive world, virtual reality, where you control the drone, you control everything when it comes to flying a manual drone. They're fun, steep learning curve. This is a steep learning curve, but they make a virtual joystick, which makes it really accessible to any beginner flying FPV. Any noob can fly it. I'll link a video at the end showing my friend flying the DJI Avata 2 with 0 FPV experience. And then I'll also link a video of me getting this, my very first custom FPV drone, where you do everything yourself. That was quite an experience, but it's very fun. All right, so this is your standard camera drone. This is the Mavic 3 Pro, like I mentioned. I'm going to recommend a few drones if you want a regular drone where you can basically scout, take some videos, take some photos, whether you're professional or amateur. You know, fly it around your house, fly it around wherever you want if you're traveling. This is just great to capture things from a new point of view that a regular camera can't get. That's basically how I think of drones, is a camera that is able to access things that I can't with my body and my human ability to not be able to fly around. So that's what I like about this. Other drones are going to be linked in the description, but there are so many options, and I'm talking like a lot of options. And I definitely recommend the DJI brand when it comes to flying drones. I've flown other manufacturer drones and they just either really suck or they just don't have a good experience for whether a professional user or a new user. They're just not good. DJI makes everything as simple as possible, fly right out of the box once you set everything up, and I can't go wrong with recommending a DJI drone for you guys. They have these drones that are, anywhere from $200. There's a new DJI Neo. Personally, I won't recommend that one. I haven't used it, but based on everything I've seen, I just can't recommend it because it is trying to be a little more like a vlogging kind of like follow me drone, and that might be what you want, but that's just not my kind of style, and I don't want to speak on a style that I'm not familiar with. So starting at a lower end around like $200-300 is a DJI Mini 4K. That's all it's called. Then they have the Mini 3 Pro and the Mini 4 Pro and the Mini 3 and the Mini 4 without being the Pro models. Mavic 3, the Mavic 3 Pro, the Air 3, the Air 3S. Tons of options. Links will be in the description showing you the prices and everything with that. I'm not going to get into the specs because, the Mavic 3 Pro has a 43-minute flight time, whereas so does the Mini 4 Pro. I think it can do like 44-minute flight time or something like that. I don't want to get in the specs because I'm just trying to help you decide what kind of drone is best for you, and I'm giving you some options. If I were to review every single drone on the market, this video would probably be 3 hours long. All right, moving on to a custom FPV drone, and I'm going to explain this first, and then I'll explain the DJI Avata 2. But when it comes to custom FPV drones, if you're a kind of person that wants to build your drones out, or build anything really, and just learn the basics to how everything works, and putting it to a test. This thing, I basically see this as a test when I fly it, when I practice flying. I really, really enjoyed it. I will recommend, if you do want to go the FPV route, you're going to want to get a controller first. Buy a FPV controller first. It doesn't have to be the DJI kind. There's tons of FPV controllers out there. Get that controller, plug it into a computer, play a game called Liftoff. It's a drone simulator, and you're just going to want to put hours into it. 100 hours, at least 50 hours, 100 hours. Really learn how to fly a drone manually, because you're not going to be able to just pick this up and never fly a drone before and take this out. You're going to crash. You probably hurt somebody. You might hurt yourself. You might damage some property, because this thing is all manual control. When I say manual, think of like actually flying like a plane or something. And the best way to explain this is, with an FPV controller, this is your throttle, and wherever you leave your throttle is where the throttle is going to stay. Whereas a camera drone, where the left stick moves one way and the right stick moves another way, when you let go of the sticks, the drone just stops and doesn't move. Whereas if you let go of the sticks, it just knows the last position the drone was in and will keep going in that direction. And if you don't know what you're doing, you're going to crash. I crashed. Every beginner has crashed their FPV drones, and even professionals crash them. This thing is a lot of risk, but a very, very high reward. And this thing in particular, the Bob 57, is really called the Bob because it stands for Best of Both Worlds. And that is basically between a freestyle drone where you're flying just to like do some tricks around the yard or something like that, or long range drone like flying mountains and whatnot. I like to fly mountains. I like to really like soar and dive down mountains, and this drone gives me a great experience with that. There is a issue with FPV drones when it comes to fully custom, and let me go to outside and show you exactly what I'm talking about right now. Okay, so as much fun as this Bob 57 is, and custom FPV drones and FPV drones in general, but especially custom FPV drones, everything you do is up to you. Charging the batteries, making sure the battery is having enough juice to get home and land and not just fall out of the air. There's nothing that this drone can do automatically, and I say that like sparingly. I'm sure there's a couple things you can set it to do automatically, but it's not like the DJI drones where it will tell you to come home because the battery's low enough. You have to figure out the voltage when you charge it, when you're landing, and you have to figure out troubleshooting. Currently I'm having this issue. All my footage is very, very jiggly, and I am trying to figure out what's going on. I don't know if it's the propellers. I just changed the propellers, and we'll see if that was the issue. The footage just looked super duper shaky and everything, so that's what we're gonna test out now, new props. If not, the motors are fine. I tested the motors. Motors are fine, but there might be the ESC, so I'd have to do some more testing, but I'm hoping it was just those props. Sometimes you get props that just aren't even, and it can cause that kind of jello effect. So let's get this drone flying in the air, and we'll just do a quick shoot. I only got one battery. Probably not going to do anything crazy. There's no snow on these mountains back here. It kind of warmed up a little bit, so all the snow is way farther back. Can't really get back there right now. So let's have a little bit of fun, hopefully. Alright, so I wasn't able to figure out the issue. I think there might be something wrong with one of the motors or something. Something might be bent. I had to do a lot of troubleshooting, and that is where this drone kind of is like, you just want to do it as like fun, a hobby. I mean, you can use these professionally for certain types of shots and whatnot. Movies are now incorporating FPV, but this drone is going to test your limits, and you're going to have to become a little troubleshooter and everything like that. Regular drones are just kind of, you know, launch and fly, and you get your shot, return to home. These things, I didn't mention earlier, these things just kind of return to home on their own. If you don't want to dive into the full FPV world right away, well, here's this. This is a DJI Avata 2, and like I said, my friend flew this with no issue. And he used, actually, I might have one right here. Here we go. This is the joystick that comes with the DJI Avata 2. And this thing, basically, you go left, right, up, and down. It controls everything. Let me go back out, and I'll show you exactly how this drone works. And how fun it is to fly as well. The kind of shots you can get in a parking lot, for example. Alright, so when it comes to the DJI Avata 2, and even when I got the original DJI Avata, there's no simpler FPV setup than what DJI has created for us. So, if you want to start your FPV journey, this might be a really good option for you. The setup is super simple, and I fly everything in manual, but you can also fly this drone like a normal drone, and you can also get the motion controller where it's like a virtual joystick and you rotate to go left and right and up and down. It's pretty fun, and I know I enjoyed it when I first got it, but I really wanted to maximize the FPV world. So the Avata 2 is a great drone for anyone really, whether your experience is pro or not. But it's great for beginners, and also it's great for just having nice slow control. You're not going to have amazing recovery from doing like FPV, like freestyle, where you can flip and then come up like that. That's where you want a custom FPV drone, but this thing can get 80% of what you need in FPV flying, from long range to in a house. So let's just give it a quick flight. It's actually been a while since I flew this one. I fell in love with my custom FPV drone, but let's just give this quick a flight before the sun sets, and we'll see how it goes. Image quality in the Avata goggles, the Avata 2 goggles, is absolutely insane because of the DJI 04 unit versus the 03 unit. There is rumors the 04 unit is coming to custom FPV drones soon, but right now it's only available in the DJI Avata 2 and some of their newer drones like the Air 3S and maybe the Mini 4 Pro. So, and maybe the DJI Neo. But one great thing with DJI FPV mode is you don't have to land in manual mode. You can actually pause it, and now the drone is just hovering in the air. I could fly it over to me like a normal drone. Here it is. You fly it over like a normal drone, and then go ahead and have some controlled landing wherever you want, especially if you're on top of a mountain or something. It's pretty nice. It's just a great little fun drone. I set it up to fly a little bit slower, and that way I don't get ahead of myself, because sometimes it's fun to fly fast with a FPV drone. DJI has a little bit weaker motor, so you can't recover things in quick scenarios, and I'd rather fly it safe than sorry. You can definitely do some tight gaps and stuff and have more control than like the original Avata, but this thing is really, really fun. Okay, so yeah, this DJI Avata 2 is really fun. I actually got to put this memory card back in. Let me just do that before I forget. With the Avata 2, you don't need to put an external camera on it, just like you do with a custom FPV drone. This has the Air 3 unit in. You can technically record off that. Image quality isn't that great. Prefer the image quality on the DJI Osmo Action 5 or your preferred GoPro or Insta360 action camera, whatever you're comfortable with. But that's my setup for this. And you'll notice like right away there's also a size difference in these drones. Custom drones can be really bought from super duper small, like you could fly around in this room like in an office, to huge, putting like my camera I'm recording the Canon R5 or the R5 Mark II or a cinema camera on FPV drones, and then they end up being huge. So you can go the long route. There are like too many options that you can speak of in a video. And I just wanted to say one more thing about this Avata. Is not only is this a drone that you can just kind of like be comfortable flying when you use a joystick, or if you want to learn the full manual control, but if something breaks on this, you can send it in to DJI. They could fix it, or if you have the DJI Care, they could send you a new one if you lose it. You can't do that with these custom drones. If you lose it, you lose it. Not only do you lose the drone, you lose the battery, you lose your propellers, you lose the action camera, you lose everything, and you got to buy that all over again. DJI has made the Avata 2 and their system just absolutely like undeniably the best out there. And sure, you might find some people that hate DJI. There's a big like potential ban that could be happening with DJI. If you buy a drone now, you're not going to be losing your drone. They're not going to come confiscate it. They're not going to make it unflyable. It's just going to apply to any new drone that comes out. So these drones will be protected if there is a DJI ban. I'm not getting into that right now. Too much to get into. All right, so hopefully that you learned a few things about your kind of drone that you want to get in 2025. And like I said, I can't name every single possible drone, but I give you my recommendations. If you're a beginner and your very, very first drone, I'd recommend the DJI Mini 4K. It's cheap and it doesn't have any sensors on it to protect you from crashing, but it's going to be a great flying experience right out of the box. If you're looking to have absolutely like just fun out of fun, well, the DJI Avata 2 is going to be a great, just immersive experience. Like I said before, you got the virtual reality, but it's reality because you're controlling that drone and it's going to be in the air. And if you're a person that like really wants to push FPV to its max limit, or if you want to just have complete control over everything, charging the battery and everything like that, well, this might be a drone for you. And it doesn't have to be the Bob 57. It can be something the size of the Avata 2, or it could be a cinematic drone or a cinema camera drone. This thing's going to be just fun, but a challenge. And people like that. I know I enjoy it. That's basically all I have in this video. I hope you learned something today. Like I said, there's going to be links to every drone I recommend with prices in the description. And if you guys want to go the FPV route, well, click this video right here. My friend Shane flew the DJI Avata 2 with no FPV experience. And then you might want to click this video here where I get my Bob 57. And this is my very first custom FPV drone experience. It's absolutely fun. Thanks for watching, guys. Subscribe to the channel for more videos, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.